unemployment or underemployment. I truly believe that in America, not only this year but every year, there are more jobs than there are people to fill them. Larry King interviewed Steve Wynn with the casinos in Las Vegas, Magic Johnson, and the president of Google, and all three of them said, "We need help. We can't get enough people." Steve Wynn is opening a new casino in December of '08 and needs 5,000 new employees. Magic Johnson has 6 businesses. He says we need people to man all 6 of them. There are theaters and restaurants, and the guy from Google, he says we are hiring every day of the week. The governor of Colorado, Bill Ritter, said there are 18,000 jobs in Colorado alone going unfilled. So whether you're getting a pink slip or whether you're deciding to make a change yourself, I've written a book called How to Get the Job You Really Want and Get Employers to Call You. This is a result of personal experiences. 20 years ago, my son Joe was graduating from high school in Concord, California. He called me to say, "I'm graduating from high school, Dad." I said, "Congratulations, what can I get you?" He says, "A job." He didn't even hesitate. I said, "What do you want to do, Joe?" He says, "Well, Dad, I've been having a part-time job as a printer. I'd like to have a full-time job." I said, "Okay, what do you know about printing?" So he rattled off cameras and cutters and plate makers. So I said, "I'll call you back in an hour." That day, I was inspired to write the first form that I've come to call the GOLD form, G-O-L-D. And it simply said, "Available immediately, one qualified, experienced, responsible, dependable printer. I've run the following equipment. Besides graduating from class in high school, I'm working 2.5 days a week. I'm looking for a full-time job." Then at the bottom I said, "Help solve your printer problems today. Call this number and ask for Joe Saba, and I live in Concord, California, and I'm available immediately." When I read that to my son, he laughed and laughed. He said, "Dad, what are you going to do with that?" I says, "I have your yellow pages here. In Concord, California and Walnut Creek, California, there are 37 print shops. I'm going to mail it out to all 37 print shops." He says, "Won't that be a lot of postage?" That's back when we had 15-cent stamps. So I says, "Look, I'll pay the postage. I want one promise from you, to be there when the telephone rings." He says, "Do you think people will call me?" I said, "Of course I do." We call that positive expectancy. What we think about, we bring about. So I mailed them out on a Thursday. When I went down to the print shop, the lady asked me, "What color paper do you want this on?" I said, "What's the brightest color you got?" She says, "Goldenrod." I said, "Well, let's go with it." So that was the beginning of my use of goldenrod paper. Mailed these out on a Thursday. Next Tuesday, Joe called me back from California and says, "Guess what, Dad? 3 job offers. 3 people called him to offer him a job." Now, he never heard from the other 34, but what difference does it make? It's a numbers game. See, if we do something over and over and over, it's bound to work. Well, since then, I've been doing seminars in not only Denver, but the Rocky Mountain region. I've been doing interviews on this subject on 683 radio stations, and have sold a ton of books, 21,000 books. The important thing is, forget about resumes. If resumes got people jobs, everybody would have one. My philosophy is, don't use resumes. They're all past tense. Use the GOLD form, which is not present tense, but future tense. What do you really want to do? So with that, how to get the job you really want and get employers to call you. In 102 pages, we'll walk you through the whole process. You can either get it by going online to joesaba.com, going down to jobs, click on that link and it'll be there, or call me at 303-722-7200. Change your life for the better.